Hello, everybody. We're trying something kind of new today, and I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to talk to you about my writing. I cannot see the camera very well, so I hope I'm in frame. I hope everything's doing okay. Got a glass of wine right here in my cup that I got from Hobby Lobby. And I just kind of want to talk to you about my writing. So, where to start? First of all, happy April. I know I haven't posted a video since April began, so happy April. It's lovely to see all of you guys again. And I have been participating in the Rough Draft Writing Challenge. Everything for that will be linked down below. I think I put it in my other video, but just to be safe, I will have it in this video as well. I started this month out with just one project in mind, and now it has grown a little bit to be about 3. I have also sort of soft launched a writing experiment that I have started. I don't know how I want to film that or kind of like do it, but I have been working in Dabble for my fiction novel, and I have been working in Google Docs and in Scrivener with a new project, which is not fully formed yet. It's still very much in the beginning stages, and I've never written a nonfiction book before. I don't know how much I want to give away, especially since it's still in its infancy. And like, I haven't even actually started writing it yet. A very long story short, I was legally kidnapped at 17 and brought out to the Utah desert to do a wilderness therapy program where I stayed for, I think it was like 116, 118 days, thereabouts. And so I have been I've been transcribing all of my journals, because I had to write a journal every day, to Google Docs, so that, first of all, so that I have it for, posterity reasons. And so that, eventually the kids and the kids' kids and anyone in the family who was really interested, they could read it if they wanted. But I've been kind of toying around with the idea of like actually writing a book about my experience. So that's kind of what I've started. There's a lot I want to address in this video. I don't know if I'm going to get to all of it, so please bear with me, you guys. So, I guess we'll just start from the beginning. So I have about 11,000 words in my fiction novel that I'm working on, and I've had to restructure the beginning because it just felt like I was slogging through it and pushing too hard, and it didn't feel like it was happening like organically. And so I rearranged some of the scenes and whatnot, and it feels a lot better. And so I've started, it's like sort of rewrite. 10,000 words is really not that much. So I'm glad I caught it now instead of being like half of the way or all the way through the book and being like, fuck. So that's kind of where I'm at with that project, which is Project Potion, or Potions. I think I said in a TikTok that I did that if I talk about Project Potion and Project Selfish, they're one and the same. They are not anymore. They are 2 separate entities. I have given a little bit of thought to Project Selfish and kind of put that on the back burner for now because I really want to focus on Project Potions and Project Redcliffe. I guess we'll just call it what it is. So I've been doing that in Project Potions. I'm really happy with the characterizations. I'm really happy with everything, with how everything is going so far, especially now that I've like rearranged a lot of the events in the very beginning of the book. And I'm feeling a lot more positive about it and more excited to write instead of like, fuck, what do I write next sort of emotion or feeling, If you're a writer, I know you know what I'm talking about. So that one's been going really well. I'm really proud of it. Being at 11,000 words on the 10th, I'm less ahead because I have a goal of 30,000. And I'm less ahead now. I was like 4 days ahead a few days ago. And then I kind of switched my focus over to transcribing all my journals from Redcliffe. And so that's what I've been doing the last few days, is basically hold up with my PC, transcribing journals and moving them from the like handwritten to Google Docs. I have started organizing them in Scrivener, which I want to talk about in just a second. And I'm really, really happy with what I've got so far and how I'm envisioning the project. And so I'm really pleased with that. And I feel a really good, strong momentum with that book. I don't know exactly how I want to frame the non-journal parts of it, because the journal really is the central, most important part, because you follow me from day one up to day whatever, 100 whatever, and you see how much I change and what happens over the course of that. And I talk about some really, really intensely personal stuff. I was also 17 when I wrote these. So there's kind of a lot going on, and there's going to be a lot of heavy editing and a lot of things that I'm going to need to figure out with that. But right now it's just my own private personal thing. So I'm just word for word putting the journals into Google Docs and then taking them from Google Docs and putting them into Scrivener, where I can like do some light editing and like initial zero draft kind of stuff. So I'm really happy with that and how that's going. And that kind of brings me to my next point, which is also the writing experiment that I was just talking about. So I have 3 main like methods of writing, I guess. I don't know how to word it, but Dabble has been my go-to for the Project Ocean, which I finished last year and still haven't edited, but that's a whole different can of worms. But that's what I did for Project Ocean. That's what I've been using for all of my other fiction projects, but it didn't feel quite right to use it for a nonfiction, especially one that I want to have diagrams and pictures and kind of like a multimedia approach to it, which I'm really excited about. I have a very specific vision in my head about the nonfiction book, and I'm really, really looking forward to continuing to work on that project. That being said, I was like, okay, so I've never really used Scrivener to plot out and create an entire novel. Like, I've written in it, I've used it before, I'm fairly familiar with the software, I guess, with the program, but I've never like written a book in it. And it just felt so right to use Scrivener for my nonfiction writing. And so that's where the experiment kind of like came to fruition and came to light. So what I'm going to do, and what I am doing, is I'm seeing which one kind of calls to me the most. And I'm using Scrivener, I'm using Dabble, and I'm using my Free Write, which is not a program, it's like an actual device. Like, I've shown it to you guys, there's an unboxing on my channel. And I don't really want to go into all of that, because I do want to do like a separate video on that and kind of show my progress and all of that. So I need to start like filming clips for that and everything. That being said, I've been using my Free Write as kind of a catch-all. Like, it just slides so easily in my purse and I can just take it anywhere, and it's so easy to write on the go with it. It doesn't really need an internet connection. It still saves the work, and then you can connect it to your post box when you get to an internet connection, or like back home or wherever. God, that's good. And so that's kind of like my catch-all. I don't have one specific project that I'm working in my Free Write, whatever. And I have dedicated Project Redcliffe to Scrivener. So I'm going to be doing that, working exclusively on that project in Scrivener and seeing how I like it, seeing how easy the process is, especially, like I said, I've not written a nonfiction novel yet. So like, this is a whole new thing for me. And I'm both excited and very nervous. And then with Dabble, I am balancing a few projects in it. My first and foremost is Project Potions, which is going well, like I said before. And that's like my main focus, especially this month for Camp Nano, or the Rough Draft Writing Challenge, whatever you want to call it. So I do have like a main focus, but I used it to finish writing my archive of our own fan fiction, and I have started writing a new fan fiction, well, a couple of them. And I consider those like, they're definitely writing projects, and they help me practice the craft and kind of, get more comfortable and experiment and everything. But the novel that I'm working on is like my top priority. And I just kind of like do those on the side. But it's so interesting because Scrivener feels so rigid and official. I don't know if rigid's the right word, but it feels so like official and like such a big deal to use it, and like it's formatted in a very specific way, which it is. And I feel a lot more, I don't think creative freedom is the way I want to word it, but I feel different creative freedom when I use Dabble for my fiction projects. And I like the way it's set up to keep track of plot points and characters and world building and all of that. And I just like the way that I write in it. But I just cannot get over how wrong it felt to use Dabble for my nonfiction project. Who'd have thunk? So that's kind of where I'm at with everything. I meant to film this video a few days ago and kind of like give you guys an introduction, say happy April and everything. But with being so hyper-focused on my RCA journals, I haven't really done much. So today I kind of came out of my shell and I did the dishes, and I was like, I'll film that video today. I'll grab myself a glass of wine, we'll film the video, and I want to get it up tonight. In fact, I might start editing it right after this. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with everything. I have a new note that I started on my phone to keep track of pros, cons, and just miscellaneous things for each of the writing programs and the ways to write. And I do want to kind of flesh that out and talk about it. I don't know, maybe it would be best to do it in like one video. Maybe it would be best to do it in like individualized videos. So like one for the free write, one for Dabble, and one for Scrivener. But I'm not too concerned about that yet because I haven't even started filming or taking clips for any of that. And I have a long time to kind of do it, since I don't think I'm going to get all of that experiment settled and buttoned up by the end of the month, especially since I already have like some pretty lofty writing goals. So anyway, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to pop in, say hi, try out my new tripod and the mic and everything. I hope you guys can hear me and I'm not too loud or too soft. And yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with everything. I would love to hear about what you guys use for writing, what your preferred methods are, all that good stuff. If you have a project that you're working on this April, because I know we're not doing like Camp Nano or anything anymore, but the rough draft writing project's been really fun and I feel really good about that. I also want to I'd like to do some more writing vlogs, maybe daily, not like every single day, but like if I just have a day where I want to write, I'll just take you guys along with me and kind of show you what it looks like for me. And I also, with Project Potion, I really want to kind of show it from beginning to end. Because, and another thing that I want to talk about more in depth, it's at another point, is publishing, which obviously I'm not yet a published author, but I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and I almost want to hybrid publish and do both trad and indie. I have a lot of thoughts on that. My first is that I kind of want to try and traditionally publish we'll just call it a memoir sort of for Project Redcliffe. I was thinking about traditionally publishing that, and then for all of my fiction ones I could go indie because I'd have like all of creative control. And with nonfiction I feel like there's different standards you're held to and a different kind of creative control. Again, I don't know anything because I've never actually like queried or published or anything, but that's kind of my first initial thought on it. And then once I do decide, once I start polishing up these manuscripts and getting them ready to, because I would like to query, but I also love the idea of control. So I don't know. I've just been thinking about publishing and writing and everything a lot. So I have to decide sometime, but today is not that time. So I'm going to let you guys go. I love you so much. Thanks for hanging out with me. If I like this, I might just sit on my couch and talk to you guys a lot more. I love having a tripod that I can just put up and have better angles and all that, because setting you guys up on some precarious positioning made me a little nervous. So anyway, I've definitely talked for long enough. Love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Cheers!